as some of you may know, John Wick Chapter 4 was my most anticipated movie of 2023. I got the opportunity to check it out last week. I've been waiting to do this review because I want to share my thoughts on this film so badly, because this film is absolutely incredible. This is one of the best action films I've ever seen. Maybe the best, and hands down the best of the entire series, which just amazes me. The John Wick series is like fine wine. It just gets better and better with each installment. The third film, John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum, is one of my favorite films of all time, just period. It's definitely in the top 20, I would say, maybe top 10. But everything about that movie is just so well done, from the story to the choreography involving the fight scenes. Just everything about it. I love it. And the fact that Chapter 4 was able to top that is shocking. Usually the fourth installment in an action series is kind of where they begin to run out of ideas, and the series as a whole starts to lose some of the realism that goes along with this. We saw this a lot with the Fast and Furious franchise, where they were just trying to one-up themselves every single movie to the point where it kind of lost the whole point, and that is not the case at all with this movie. In fact, with the third film, the climax ends off at a point where it's just complete insanity. John Wick Chapter 4 starts out with a scene on caliber to the final part of Chapter 3 and just elevates it from there. Each action scene is better than the last. The choreography is absolutely incredible. There are so many standout moments, from the siege on the Japanese Continental to the club scene with Scott Adkins, which is just fantastic. An excellent sequence. Absolutely love that scene. And the third act of this movie, oh my god, it's honestly overwhelming how good it is. It is action from start to finish, not in a way that is detracting from the story. The story is most certainly there, although, you know, the main focus of a John Wick film is the kung fu scenes, the action scenes, gunfights, stuff like that. You get plenty of that in the movie, but the story here is also really solid, and over the course of the series, obviously, you get really attached to the character of Wick, and you really want to see him, you know, fight off the high table and get his freedom. And in this film, we finally get that. It does appear that this is the final installment of the series. And before I had seen this movie, and I did hear that news, that did upset me, but after seeing this film, I feel like that's definitely the right way to go. You don't want this to become another series where they're just running it dry, running out of ideas, repeating itself, and you just think back on the glory days of when the series used to be good. I think this is the perfect way to end the franchise, ending it off on a high note, and I'm very excited to see what they do with the spin-offs going forward. The cast here is excellent. Keanu Reeves just completely embodies the character of John Wick so well. You can't even compare John Wick to someone like James Bond, because with James Bond, that's more of an idea of a character. But John Wick is Keanu Reeves through and through. No one else can play this role. Donnie Yen is a new addition to the series, starring as the character of Kane, a blind assassin. And at first, I was kind of against this character, because what can a blind assassin really do at the end of the day? But this man is insane. He's excellent in the action scenes. I loved his character arc with John Wick, the relationship between them, and I love the way he fights. It's great. I love the implementation of him being blind and how skilled he is with his other senses. I like the character of the Tracker a lot. Bill Skarsgård is obviously really good in this. You know, Ian McShane's good. Lawrence Fishburne is really good in the film, although I will say he's not really in it that much. He's only in like 4 scenes of the entire movie. Granted, he hasn't had a huge part in the series, but seeing him and Keanu on screen is always a great time. Scott Adkins is also a standout here. I was first turned on to him after I watched Day Shift. I thought he was excellent in that film. I think that scene of the movie with him is the best part of the entire film easily, and that might be the case with this movie as well. That entire club sequence, if you've seen the film, is incredible. It's just so good. It reminded me a lot of The Batman, and I may touch on that in a spoiler review, but still, I thought it was great. Everything about that was really well done. Cinematography is also a standout here. They shot on film, so the movie has that nice sense of grit and grain to it and realism that you love to see in action films, and I feel like that's something that's missing from a lot of really recent action movies. I hate the polished look that we see a lot on these movies, and it's nice to get something like John Wick Chapter 4 that just has that nice sense of grain that adds to the darkness and realism of this world. I also love the story around, you know, the John Wick series, the mythology involving the Continental and the High Table, and this film definitely focuses on that the most out of any other film in the series. The ideas of the High Table and what they represent have been, current throughout the entire series, but I feel like with this and also Chapter 3, they've kind of been pushed to the forefront, and just seeing this world being developed is so interesting. But guys, all in all, John Wick Chapter 4 is incredible. I can't wait to see this film again. I've seen it twice now, I would say. It's kind of a weird situation where I was basically seeing the film for the first time around halfway through the power went out, which, sucked, but they gave us tickets to come back, went back, watched it from the beginning again. So I've seen it like 1.5 times. I definitely plan on watching it a lot more in the future over the years. Again, this film can be overwhelming at times because it's just so good. There's so much going on, and it's a 3-hour movie, so there's a lot to unpack with this. So I definitely plan on watching this again when it comes on to VOD. But as for right now, I'm going to give John Wick Chapter 4 a 5 out of 5. If you have seen the film, definitely make sure to let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And also, if you haven't done so, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. Anyways, I'll be back very soon with some brand new content. This is Shai signing off. Peace out.